This video is going to show you how you can use Google Classroom to create an assignment for students to make a podcast or audio recording and then turn it into you using Google Classroom. On the right-hand side, I am in a teacher's account in Google Classroom. On the left-hand side, I'm in a student's account. As a teacher, I want to create an assignment for my students to make a podcast. We're going to use a site called Twisted Wave. This is a free site that has an online version. There are also downloads, but since we're using Chromebooks, we don't want to use a download. We want to use the online version. So what I want to do is use this link right here to copy, Control-C, to paste in an assignment. And I'll show you how I got to this. I simply went to twistedwave.com. Once I was there, I saw that there was a download for Mac. I could get the app for an iPad or iPhone, and then there was the online version, which is where I clicked. And then I simply copied this URL. I'm going to go back to Classroom, and I'm going to go to the class that I wish to assign this in. I'm going to hit the plus and go ahead and click Create Assignment. I will title and give a description for the assignment. I could choose a due date. In this case, I'm just going to toggle that off. And then I could decide here which other classes I want to assign this assignment to. Next, I need to insert that link for Twisted Wave. So I will go ahead and paste or Control-V and then add that link. Now that it's been added, I'll go ahead and click Assign. Now I'm going to go over to my student side, and here's the class that the student is in, and we can see right here is the newest assignment, which the student can click Open, and they will see the link that will take them to Twisted Wave online. Now what the student is going to do is they could create an account, so they could register and have an account, but they do not have to. They can simply click here on the green dot that says New Document. That will open a new window in which we now have a full editor for audio, very similar to Audacity if you've used that. So we're going to create ourselves a podcast. So I'm going to come up here and title it Podcast. Now to get started, my teacher told me I have to use music in my podcast. So before I start recording and doing that, I'm just going to move this out of the way because I'm going to go to youtube.com. And on YouTube, I am able to go to what's called the Creator Studio. And in the Creator Studio, under the Create button, there's an audio library with just tons and tons of free music that I can choose from. As I'm going through here, I can click and actually hear the music. So I found a sound that I like, and it says I'm free to use this song in any of my videos, or in this case, podcast. Now, I do have the option here to download this, but I really don't need to. I just need to play it while I'm doing my podcast on Twisted Wave. So I'm just going to leave this up so I can click that play button and get that music when I'm ready. So here's my Twisted Wave window. Now, it does run on Adobe Flash, so you will get the pop-up box in the middle that will ask you to allow access to your microphone. I've already done that once before, so it probably will just pop up and go away. So as you can see right now, I'm recording. You can see over here the bar that's going up and down, and it's recording my voice. I'll go ahead and stop it quick. I can play it. Your microphone. So as you can see right now, but I really don't want all this on there. I just want to start with the music. So I'm just going to select all and hit the delete button and get a clean slate. Now I'm not going to talk. I'm going to play the music. So here we go. If I go back here on the timeline and just click to get my marker set, I can then play it. Great. Now I'm going to go to the very beginning. I've got some seconds here that are just dead time. I can simply click, so I'm at the beginning, drag my mouse and select to where my music begins, and then if I hit the delete button, it will just delete that beginning part. Now I'm going to go back to the beginning where I was. Now when I start at the beginning, I should have my music. Now let's say in the beginning that I want my music to fade in. I can simply go ahead and I want to select from the beginning, and if I hit right here, it will fade in. So it'll start soft and then get to regular volume. I can do the same thing at the end, select and have it fade out. So I have my music. Now it's time for me to record my voice in my podcast. Now that I'm ready, I'm going to click right here to go to the end, so my marker's right at the end of my song, and I'll click the record button and start recording my story. This is the story of Lawrence Anthony, better known as the Elephant Whisperer. In 2003, when the Allies invaded Iraq, Lawrence heard about Baghdad and that it had the biggest zoo in the Middle East. So he flew to Kuwait, he packed up a car full of veterinary supplies, he crossed the Iraq border, and he arrived in Baghdad, only to find, of the 650 animals in the zoo, only 35 were alive, mainly large ones like lions, tigers, and a brown bear. Right up here, I can go back to the very beginning, and I can then play my podcast and see how it sounds. This is the story of Lawrence Anthony, better known as the Elephant Whisperer. When the student has completed their podcast, they will click on File and then go to Send to Google Drive. From there, they can name the title whatever they'd like, and just simply send it to their drive. So we're on the student account. We're going to go ahead and go to Add from our Google Drive. In our Google Drive, we should be able to find that MP3 podcast. Click it and add it. As soon as it is entered in, we can go ahead and turn it in. On the teacher side, we will then see that one student is done. We'll be able to click on that student. We'll be able to then go ahead and click on their podcast. It will open in a new tab, and we'll be able to sit and listen. This is the story of Lawrence Anthony, better known as the Elephant Whisperer. All right, then as a teacher, I can come back here. I can go ahead and go to that student. I can add their grade. For this assignment, perhaps I only want it to be a 50-point assignment. So I can say for this student, I'm going to give them 48 out of 50 points, and then I can return it to the student. On the student's end, they will then see their overall score for the assignment on podcasting. If your students do not have the Creator Studio and audio library available to them through YouTube, another option I have for you is something called SoundsAbound. SoundsAbound also offers for free downloads that you can get. I just simply went on here. I went to their home. When I first went in, I went down to Sounds Audio, and from there they have different volumes. You can also do a search over here if you're looking for a specific type. And then from here you can listen to the music. You can also download these. I hope you consider giving your students an assignment to create a podcast and integrate that with Google Classroom.